Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my 6-month weight loss transformation update to share with you. It's been 6 months, a half a year, that I've been on the low carb keto diet, and what a transformation it's been. I can't believe how quickly the time has gone, but then this just feels natural to me. It's just my life. It's just the way that I eat. I love it so much. And today I'm going to share all my journey with you, the ups, the downs, how the past month has gone, and all of that. So yeah, another month has sped by, and it's been an interesting month because there have been a couple of experiments happening. First of which, if you watched my video last month, I was going to experiment with playing around with having less dairy. So instead of having dairy with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snacks and in between and more, and dairy all the time, I cut back, and I had some days with no dairy, and I had some days where I just tried a little bit so I could really see how I felt after different types of dairy. It was a very interesting experiment. Discovered butter agrees with me. Yay, I love my butter. So butter I'm keeping in my diet. Awesome. Little bits of cheese agree with me. Too much cheese and I get a sore tummy. So it's been good experimenting. Brie and all those soft cheeses agrees with me. Cream, sour cream and mascarpone, every time I don't feel so great afterwards. So eliminating it and playing around has been good. I'm going to give myself a break from those kinds of dairy for a while, and then like reintroduce and just play around. Again, I'm not saying this as a prescriptive measure. You shouldn't go out and copy what I'm doing, but I'm just sharing what works with me, and I'm experimenting myself, and as always I share what happens and how my experiments work. So going forward, yes, I'll be including dairy in my diet and playing around, having a little bit more, a little bit less, going dairy-free days, just experimenting as I feel, but butter is always included. And I'm also taking supplements. The supplement I take with electrolytes every day also has calcium in it, so I'm not really concerned about having no calcium. If you are to cut out dairy, go and definitely chat with your doctor, a health professional, if you're thinking of cutting out dairy, and look into supplementation to make sure you don't miss out on calcium or any other important elements that your body needs. So that was experiment number one. I'm getting ahead of myself. Experiment number 2 was playing around with not weighing myself. Well, attempting to not weigh myself, which went really well for 2 weeks, and at the 2-week mark I was just too curious because of all the dairy cutting out, and I wanted to see what happened. So I stepped on the scale after 2 weeks and I'd lost 1 kilo, 2 pounds, which I was really happy with, because in the past I've been losing about 1 kilo a month, so 1 kilo in 2 weeks I was very happy with. And then I kind of just vowed to weigh myself once a week, not daily. And so then in the past few days, actually, there's been a further experiment which I might touch on today and then go into in further detail in future videos, because obviously cutting out so much dairy, I felt I've needed more, and I've played around with adding more fat, but it hasn't done too much. So I've been playing around with adding a smidge more carbs. Now my carbs up until today, I don't actually count my macros every day, but days that I do, I'm usually between 18 and 25 grams of carbs, which is keto, low carb, super low carb. And I don't know, I've just felt in me that I want to increase that a lot. Not going high carb. I mean, anything under 100 grams of carbs is technically considered low carb. Keto usually is under the 50 gram mark. So I'd say I am somewhere between 25 and 50 grams the last couple of days. And the first day when I increased my carbs, the next morning I stepped on the scale. Overnight I had lost 0.9. Yep, just under 1 kilo, just under about 2 pounds overnight by just increasing my carbs. And I didn't go crazy. I didn't crack open a loaf of bread. I had a bit more vegetables, and when I have my strawberries for a snack, instead of having 4 strawberries, I went crazy and had 8 strawberries. So the carbs I had through the day, I just upped it. So when I had my veg, I put a bit more veg on my plate, or usually I've been having 1 veg with each meal, I had 2 veg with each meal it's just been a couple of days, so we're very early into the experiment, but I'm going to be seeing how I feel and how the scale moves. I'm again not going to try and weigh myself daily, but I'm going to weigh myself more frequently to see how this experiment is going, with increasing towards the 50 gram mark. Again, this isn't a do what I do, this is listen to your body. I felt there was something missing. It's difficult to explain. I felt there was something missing, and I thought, well, I'm going to play around with my carbs, and if over the next few days having 50-ish grams of carbs and 20 instead of 25, I put on weight, I'll think about it. But losing and then the next day staying the same, it kind of makes me think maybe I need to up my carbs for a bit and still be keto, still be low carb, but just play around with my numbers. It's an experiment. I've always said that this diet is awesome. I love this way of eating. I gravitate towards low carb, high fat foods now, and I don't see that changing for a time to come. But I'm always open to experimenting and listen to my body and doing what I feel for this diet to be sustainable in the long term. And it's going to continue changing, and I thank you for joining me on this journey. And just, yeah, make sure you subscribe. Wait, we're not at the end of the video. Yeah, so going forward, I am going to just keep experimenting with my carbs. I might film a video more documenting how I am increasing my carbs. Leave a comment, let me know if you're curious about increasing carbs on keto and still losing weight. But again, I'm not reaching for pizza, pasta, bread, nothing like that. It's more having more veggies, and I think I might even try a few more fruits and be a bit crazy as well. I've also been thinking of upping my carbs and being a little bit more risky, because I'm going to Japan in a couple of weeks. I know I talk about it every month, but it's here. It's coming in a few weeks. I'm going to be jetting off to Japan, and I am going to try my utmost to keep low carb, high fat. But when I go to the markets and I see all the beautiful exotic fruit, I want to know I can have fruit and vegetables and feel okay. So I'm happy kind of upping my limit just to be able to enjoy that. I'm not going to be having noodles and dumplings and all that. I've actually got no desire for it. So I'm going to be going there, keeping low carb, high fat, documenting it all, sharing the journey with you. But I just want to know that if I go and eat a bit of meat and it maybe is marinated in something which is higher carbs, I'm not going to feel awful, because I'm kind of slowly edging towards higher carbs. I hope that makes sense. It's what I'm doing. Again, I'm just sharing the journey as I go, really honest and raw and open, unedited me. I thought I'd share an interesting incident which happened through the month, which really made me realize how much weight I've lost. I was on train with my kids to the city, and usually, it's a bit embarrassing. Usually on train seats, I have a little bit of spillage, you know, I've got quite a bottom. And so usually when I sit on the train, there's my seat and I take over a little bit of my neighbor's seat. Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, but you know. And so I caught a train with the boys to the city. Usually I combat it by placing one of the children next to me. So yeah, they're taking up the seat, and like no one really has to notice. Yeah. Anyway, what happened was we're on the way to the city, and the boys decided they wanted to sit next to each other, so there's 2 and 2 seats. The boys sat next to each other and I was by myself. Didn't really think about anything, and then a man came and sat next to me, and initially I was mortified because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm taking up half the seat, and then I realized I wasn't. He was in his seat and I was in my seat, and somehow my bottom was contained to one seat, and it was such an awesome feeling, an awesome moment. I almost wanted to tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, look, see, I'm my own seat. Yeah, look at me. But yeah, I didn't. I had a little party in my brain instead. And it felt awesome. It felt amazing, and it just reassured what I'm doing, and just it was one of those like happy little moments which I just noted that I'm just so thankful for the weight I've lost, and yeah, look forward to seeing where my journey takes me in the future. So overall, what did I actually lose in 6 months? My total weight loss for 6 months is 15.4 kilos, which is about a little over 33 pounds in 6 months, which I am over the moon about. The last month I lost 2-ish kilos, about 4 pounds, to keep converting, and I feel awesome. I feel so much energy. I'm 35. I feel like I have more energy than I had in my 30s and my 20s. I feel awesome. I feel so energetic. I feel so much smaller. Oh, before and after photos, mustn't forget those. So I took photos this morning. I'm just everywhere this morning. I took photos this morning in my yellow top. So let's do some before and after. So before, in my yellow top over here, I look sad. there was just, oh, I was in just such a sad place and I just needed to do something, and keto was it. And now today, me in this yellow top, my waist, my chest, my face, my eyes, my happiness level is just through the roof. I can't speak high enough of this diet and how it's changed my life and really saved my life. It's just been awesome. And looking at the before and after photos, it just reassures to me that what I'm doing is working, and I'm looking great and I'm feeling great, and I'm going to be continuing on this for the time coming, for the foreseeable future. And I hope that you'll join and subscribe if you're not already. Join the Yummy Inspirations community. Leave any questions, comments down below. I'll be sure to answer them, and also I'll leave a blog post down below with more of my thoughts about 6 months on keto. I hope that you'll give that a read. And yeah, thanks so much again for watching. If you don't already know, I've also actually got an ebook called The Quick Start to Keto Guide. It's on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below to that as well. And if you don't have a Kindle, you can also download a free app to be able to read it. I shared that ebook a little while ago. It's been read by heaps of you. Really appreciate it. Got some awesome reviews. It's just an easy way to get straight into keto. All of my thoughts, all of how I got into keto and what I did and meals, and just really simple, easy, quick guide. So it's down below. Check it out. Really appreciate it. And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.